Get a Bible, relax a moment, get a cup of coffee. What role does King Abdullah II, the king of Jordan, what role does Jordan play in this end time scenario as the Bible prophecies coming to life right before our very eyes, right here in Daniel chapter 11, 41 through 45. I've got a 1.5 minute interview with King Abdullah II of Jordan that I'm going to play for you. Let me read to you what the scripture says first, just before I play it. He, the Antichrist spirit, shall enter into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown, but these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom and Moab and the chief children of Ammon. And of course that is Jordan. That is who they are. Now, with that in mind, then it says, but he shall stretch forth his hand. The Antichrist spirit will stretch forth his hand, and these countries will not escape. They are Egypt shall not escape, and neither will Libya. And then it goes on to say he'll stand at the steps of Ethiopia. It says many countries shall be overthrown, but not Jordan. Now keep that in mind. This is who he is. That is King Abdullah II of Jordan. Okay? He is being interviewed by Wolf Blitzer at CNN about the Syria crisis. Let's listen to what he says, and then I want to read to you some more information about this situation. Let's see. Hopefully we don't have an ad here. Let's see what happens. We do have an ad, so hang on one second. Okay, let me get past that ad for a second. So we're going to see what King Abdullah says as it relates to his position. He was the first Arabic leader to call for Assad to step down. But he sounds like he's backpedaling just a little. Here we go.
What would you like to say directly to the Syrian leader?
Well, I believe that we're getting to the point, I'm looking at it from the point of view of the mosaic of the Syrian people. I'm seeing for the first time, and have been watching this for the past 2 or 3 weeks, where the sectarian violence has begun to appear to a point where different groups of Syrian society is having to go at each other, to a point where we are getting to the level of the potential of full-out civil war. In other words, it's getting very, very messy, to a point where I think the worst-case scenario for all of us in the region is when you get full-out civil war, there is no coming back from the abyss. Syria is far more complicated than Iraq and other countries in the area. The different minorities, actually, put them all together to make the majority, is unlike any of the other countries in the Levant and the Arab Peninsula.
It's because of the Shiites, Muslims, and Sunni Muslims. There is and Christians. You throw it all in there, plus some other minority groups, and you have nobody really has a strong hand. There's so many little, fractions of the people of Syria that no one group has a real powerful hand. That's why Assad and his father, who have ruled for 42 years, have maintained the civilization there by keeping it upper hand on everyone. And it's because Assad's daddy killed 80,000 people during his 30 years as the president of Syria. And now his son, Bashar Assad, has been in charge for 12 years. But there's a different movement going on. This is beyond Syria, folks. I want you to understand the rise of the Muslim Brotherhood, the Antichrist spirit. And I'm going to come back to him in just a second. But the Antichrist, it says, he shall enter into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown, including Egypt, Libya, and at the steps of Ethiopia. Many countries. Well, we already know that Tunisia, that Ben Ali, after 23 years, has been removed, replaced by Muslim Brotherhood. Hosni Mubarak of Egypt, after 32 years, keeping peace with Israel, has been removed, replaced by Muslim Brotherhood's Mohammed Morsi. We already know that 42-year dictator Muammar Gaddafi has been removed, They're in Libya, replaced by who? The governing power, just elected, Muslim Brotherhood. We know that Yemen's leader, the Ali al Saleh, has been removed, and it's going to be replaced by the Muslim Brotherhood. They're in process right now. And then last but not least is Syria, and Assad. He's going to be removed and replaced by who? The Muslim Brotherhood. Let's go back to King Abdullah II of Jordan. Again, let's hear some of his comments again, what he has to say here. Here we go again.
What would you like to say directly to the Syrian leader?
Well, I believe that we're getting to the point, I'm looking at it from the point of view of the mosaic of the Syrian people. I'm seeing for the first time, and have been watching this for the past 2 or 3 weeks, where the sectarian violence has begun to appear to a point where different groups of Syrian society is having a go at each other, to a point where we are getting to the level of the potential of full-out civil war. In other words, it's getting very, very messy, to a point where I think the worst-case scenario for all of us in the region is when you get full-out civil war, there is no coming back from the abyss. Syria is far more complicated than Iraq and other countries in the area. The different minorities, actually, put them all together to make the majority, is unlike any of the other countries in the Levant and the Arab Peninsula. If it breaks down, if civil order breaks down to the point of no return,
And it is.
then it will take years to fix Syria. And I have a feeling that we're seeing the signs of that over the past 3 weeks. The only people that can bring us back from that brink is obviously the president and the regime. And I believe this is the last chance that they have.
Now, what he didn't tell you there, he says it's sectarian violence, that it's minority groups fighting each other. That's not true. Be honest with us, King of Jordan. Be honest. It's the Muslim Brotherhood. There's 10,000 Libyan freedom fighters of the Muslim Brotherhood were, after Gaddafi fell, were brought into Jordan, were paid $1,000 a month by Saudi Arabia because they're Sunni. They funded these guys' paychecks. They were trained in Jordan by NATO, including American military. They were trained, they were fed by Saudi Arabia, trained in Jordan by NATO, and sent into Syria to topple Assad. What King Abdullah II did not say in this interview is that he was helping overthrow Assad. Instead, he painted this picture that it was a bunch of minority groups that were fighting, and it's sectarian violence. But I tell you what, I don't know what to say. I feel sorry for the Syrian people. I'm looking at it through the mosaic of the Syrian people, and there's only one person that can stop all this. If anybody can save it, it's Assad, but it looks like he's at his last leg. The truth is, what he wanted to say is, Assad, you're going down. I'm helping it. I provided a place to let the troops be trained. We sent them in. I have to do this to protect my own country of Jordan. That is why in Daniel 11, 41 through 45, the Antichrist spirit is moving, folks. It is moving. It is sweeping the Middle East. In 17 months, you're telling me that Tunisia, Egypt, Libya, Yemen, and Syria have fallen to one political movement called the Muslim Brotherhood? And wasn't it Michelle Bachmann this morning who is challenging Hillary Rodham Clinton's chief of staff, Uma Abedin, that she is part of the Muslim Brotherhood right in our own administration? So the question is, and we already know Obama has invited Mohammed Morsi to the White House in September. Now, all I'm just saying is this. We're not getting the truth from even Jordan's king. I'm not criticizing King of Jordan. He's doing what he's got to do for his own nation. But what he's not telling you is there's a bigger, broader movement. And we can find it right here in the pages of the Bible. And if you're not saved, you need to take a step back and see where you stand with God. certainly Christ is coming back soon.